This handshake and red bandanas are some symbols of the Bloods gang. The Bloods, known for violent slashings, are taking their crime activity to the streets of New York.
It was reported to us that there was, and I think it was in the papers as well, but it was reported to us that there was someone who came in from Los Angeles who began to recruit some of our youth within our communities. And then coming back out onto the streets began a more aggressive campaign of recruiting some of our children.
Police say children as young as 11 years old are getting into gangs. A recent increase in gang-related incidents, particularly in Crown Heights and Bedford-Stuyvesant, brought out federal, state, and local agencies on Monday to find ways to combat the problem.
We wanted to address it in a very critical way, and also to let our constituents know, because they've been calling our office to say, I'm afraid to go out of my house, what's going on here, the recent slashing downtown.
The group came up with 3 key recommendations: to add younger officers to the police force so they can better relate to the kids on the street, to increase supervision in the Department of Corrections so that the gangs are not being organized in jails, and to provide more after-school programs so that children stay occupied between the hours of 3 and 5 p.m.
Our problem is age-old and simple. There's nothing for them to do for the most part, and they become prey to anything that provides them coming together in some kind of societal group, quote, a gang.
Law enforcement agencies identified the Marcy Houses and the Albany Houses in Brooklyn as problem areas. Between June and September, the NYPD and the FBI have combined their efforts and launched Operation Marcy Houses. According to police, about 400 arrests were made, many of them gang members. Those who live in the housing development say something does need to be done.
It's a necessary thing. Not only here, in all of the projects.
They should control these gangs because the children are being hurt and involved in all this crime and activity. Young children getting raped and molested. You know, they need to stop it. They need to stop it because it's way out of order.
Officials say the gang problem is not as bad as it is in Los Angeles, but the possibility exists that it could worsen if the spreading violence is not acted on immediately. In Brooklyn, Janine Aguirre, New York 1.
What was your belief what the police department...
Off-duty police officer James Davis knocked on doors in the Albany Houses Sunday to reach out to a community that fears gang violence.
Street violence is wrong. We're not going to tolerate any violence of any nature.
Police have identified the Albany Houses here in Crown Heights as a problem area for gang activity. But Davis claims the housing project is actually the headquarters for the Bloods gang. New York 1 first reported on Bloods gang members at the Albany Houses back in March of this year. According to police, there have been 39 gang-related slashings and stabbings in the city. 32 of them are attributed to the Bloods. Mayor Giuliani and other city officials have been stepping up efforts to address the problem.
These are hardened criminals who have criminal records, who have violent criminal records. Sometimes they're murderers, and so we need very substantial penalties for them. The police department is doing a good job of getting on top of them, making a lot of arrests, but we need this additional legislation.
These 2 members of the Bloods were criminally indicted last week. Police say they've made 51 gang-related arrests since July, but Davis says it's the people that need to take their streets back.
We are expecting the police to assist us in our fight against the street gangs. We don't want the police to have gang initiatives without having the community's voice in that process.
Those who live in the Albany Houses say keeping kids involved with positive activities is the answer.
This neighborhood needs a lot of things. This neighborhood needs programs, reading programs, math programs. We just started a track team for the kids. We need sponsors. We got a basketball team. You know, it's called Ghetto Players. We need sponsors for that. We need help. These kids need help to show them that gangs is not what you need to get involved with.
In Brooklyn, Janine Aguirre, New York 1.
Now clock kids who got the cocaine. Don't tell me it's the little kids I'm so trained. The metaphor sent from my brain to my jaw. It comes from other places, not the tinted faces. Journalistic values are yellow and then of course falters. You watch Channel Zero with that bitch Marvel Alters. Should have you believe black invented crack when President Lyndon had the formula way back in 63 with Kennedy. Yes, the double cross. Remember that's when they blow his fucking head off. Vietnam vets come back looking like one-armed pets. Nixon bombs, pure checks. No picket fence, no job, no 8-cylinder car. Blue collar turns to bourgeois. Depressed in your chest. Them are all for cess, no dough. Cracking veils much less. White he can sell on the corners of Bushwick. White he can sell on the corners of Flatbush. White tees can sell on the corners of Bed-Stuy. Pass the torch to that nigga guy. So just die, nigga, die, nigga, you're too black. You can't handle, you're too strong, get high. 5 o'clock, next boost your steel. In 95, we take back Emmetsville.
Let's take a sec to think back.
Brooklyn, traveling distance to party. Brooklyn, absent functions, not hardly. Brooklyn, the name alone holds godly. You don't know, you better ask somebody. Crackfield streets since 85, the beats getting paid to not bust. Hookers' jaws got crust. Class clapping regular. Hardcore niggas with fat gold chains. On the corner maintaining. Gold teeth flashing. Stick up kids playing in front of Latin quarters. Keep home your daughters. Cause if bullets fly, watch the flaming. Ignorant ducks are shooting wildin'. They're not aiming one Easter. Now to think about it, what a pity. 5 people died in front of Skate City. Senseless back then, you was ill if you had a gun. People dashing, flashing, damn no fun. All be square, you couldn't shop too much. Cause Fort Green with him, you right the fuck on up. You had do or die. East New York, mad hell. Fellas cutting school, trooping to all go Maxwell. So many memories I can't manifest your route. Start where I finish at to Brooklyn, God bless. God bless. God bless. God bless.
Yeah, we represent. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Represent the Brooklyn all night. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Because it is survival of the fittest. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Represent the Brooklyn all night. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Because it is survival of the fittest.
Listen, cause for your mind I got the right nutrition. We keep shit hard like fat asses in cases of Heineken. Here in Brooklyn, home of the warrior and villain. Trife type chicks, top villains, the anthem. Rasta smoke marijuana. Enterprising businessmen shoot dice on the corner. Excuse me while I light my split, but some choose to sip. So bullets hit brains when bottles hit lips. Clips, whatever happened to 38 specials. Now it's Desert Eagles. Government issue, probably the same one that killed Noriega. Chips that power nuclear bombs, power my Sega. Subliminal hypnotism and colonialism leaves most niggas dead or in prison in Brooklyn. Right hand cuts off the left hand to spite the hand, jealous of the next man. So violent crimes, black on black, plus mad crack the boot. Everybody can't rap, so most hustle and shoot. Make money, get money, take money. I can't understand that concept cause Ja rules everything around me. Fire burns the unjust like arson, larceny. Melt MCs with mental telepathy. With precision we're slicing and dicing. Peace to the East New York, perverted monks and Mike Tyson.
Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Represent the Brooklyn all night. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Because it is survival of the fittest. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Represent the Brooklyn all night. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Because it is survival of the fittest. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Represent the Brooklyn all night. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Because it is survival of the fittest. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Represent the Brooklyn all night. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Because it is survival of the fittest. Of the fittest. Of the fittest. Brooklyn, Brooklyn, Brooklyn.
Sliced them up for no reason.
A group of young thugs calling themselves Bloods gang members attacked teens outside this Brooklyn housing project early Sunday morning, leaving this 14-year-old with 400 stitches. None of the kids assaulted wanted to be identified, but they did understand why kids like to join gangs.
I guess that's what people feel is real now these days. They feel that if you join with a gang, some people use it for protection though.
I'm very upset. It could happen to me. It could happen to anybody. Not just to him. Anybody's kid out here is not safe.
Last month, police arrested 167 alleged Bloods members, a gang that started in Los Angeles. Here in New York, police say Bloods are suspected in well over 100 random slashings this year alone. Slashing strangers is a bloody initiation rite, proving that new members are joining the dangerous group.
If we ask young people to put these things down, if we ask them to put gangs away, put that down, then we have to replace it with something.
Richard Green heads the Crown Heights Peace Academy, a non-profit group that works with hundreds of Brooklyn youths each day. His goal, help kids find productive alternatives to gang life.
Great philosophy is to say you can't break a man's leg and then get angry when he limps. These young people's limping comes from the fact that they don't have the kinds of activities provided for them on a wholesome basis.
I would just like this for all these kids to don't be in gang, because let me tell you something. Those children, parents are hurt too, that their kids are out here doing that.
First, he promised a new war on drugs if re-elected. Now, with stories of bloody gang initiation rites in the news, Mayor Giuliani is vowing a new offensive against street gangs.
If we continue to do the things that the police department, the Department of Corrections have been doing, and we escalate that response, given the fact that some of these incidents are now escalating, we should be able to stop this before it becomes the significant problem that it has become in other American cities.
Giuliani wants to beef up police anti-gang squads. He's calling for adding 12 officers to the police gang intelligence unit, adding 40 cops to the detective squads, and another 77 to the ranks of the police gang suppression unit, which will move throughout the city from one gang trouble spot to the next.
They are extremely dangerous and extremely violent, and some of them try to take on the aspect of romanticizing themselves into being social work organizations. Don't be fooled by it. The Latin Kings has attempted that kind of sort of public relations con on the media with some degree of success.
Giuliani is pushing the schools to adopt a zero-tolerance policy for gang activity. He's also promoting legislation to increase penalties for gang-related offenses. But Giuliani's Democratic opponent, Ruth Messenger, is criticizing him for budget cuts she says have contributed to the gang problem.
And that one reason that gangs have been on the rise is because in the Giuliani administration, 300,000 young people have lost their place in after-school programs. If you don't give kids anything to do from 3 to 6 or 6 to 10, you will find more of them being attracted to gangs or preliminary gang organizing.
I would suggest to you that that comment is so over the top and so patently stupid as to not deserve any other comment from me.
Councilman Sal Albanese, who ran unsuccessfully for the Democratic nomination and now supports Messenger, is hitting Giuliani on the gang issue too. Albanese is charging Giuliani has ignored the warning signs and has only awakened to the issue as the election nears.
I went to Rikers Island. I visited as a member of the Public Safety Committee 2 years ago, and I saw how many members of the Nietas and the Latin Kings were on the island with beads and colors, and I pointed out then that we had a gang problem. But of course, the administration, the police department chose not to change their strategy. So I think that they've dropped the ball on this issue. And now
Albanese issued a report on the gang issue over the summer. On the road to City Hall, Dominic Carter, New York 1.
There is no comprehensive...
This afternoon, we would like to announce the successful completion of a joint initiative named Operation Red Bandana, designed to strike at the heart of a violent and dangerous gang, the Bloods. This is part of our Strategy 97. If you recall, one component of Strategy 97 was elimination of dangerous gangs. The Bloods were targeted for this operation because they are a particularly active and violent gang that poses a significant threat to citizens of this city. Their initiation rites include committing a violent crime, such as random slashings, and we're aware of at least 135 random slashings committed by this gang. In addition, members of the Bloods are heavily involved in narcotics trafficking. They have also become a powerful and dangerous presence in the city and state correctional system, often recruiting young offenders in their gang and into committing violent acts. Operation Red Bandana was designed to break this pattern of violent crime, stop their efforts to expand and organize in the city.
I'd like to introduce to all of you the President of the United States, William Jefferson Clinton.
Thank you. Good morning. Let me first of all say that I am delighted to be here, and I thought Ayanna gave a wonderful introduction. Didn't you? Give her a hand. I'm delighted to be here with all of the young people at the Huddy School, not only those who are here, but those that are outside this room listening to us and looking at us over closed-circuit television. You got to do just what the champions do. You have to believe you can do it and think about it and visualize it. You have to work for it. You got to get a good education, and you got to take care of your mind and your body. And if you do, you'll be a champion no matter what you do and no matter whether you're famous or not.
The World Workers Party's here, Almighty Black King Queen Nation, Zulu Nation, Yeta, everybody's here because it affects all of us.
The call went out and they came. Young people, many of them gang members, standing in the rain for a unification rally. Last week, 2 Latin King gang members were shot in Brooklyn. One of those shot says lots of lives are on the line.
I got shot, there was 6 around. I'm glad I took that bullet for them.
Instead of answering with an eye for an eye, this rally is asking gang members to turn the other cheek and help stop the violence.
We must come together as a unit, you know, and not as gang bangers, because we are not gang bangers. We are all leaders here. We are all teachers here.
Hundreds of people attended the rally, and just as many police were around to keep an eye on things. But there were no problems, just perhaps the beginnings of what could ease gang violence.
Set this game out a new beginning. Commit yourself to a higher calling. God wants you to do that. Your mothers and fathers want you to do that. Your ancestors want you to do that. And I know at the bottom of your heart, that's what you want to do.
Boomboxes were blaring on the streets of Crown Heights, Brooklyn today, and some people are wondering if the sounds of violence will soon be heard here.
You don't run around just cutting people and all that.
He says his gang name is HSB, Hit Squad Brim. He told me he's a member of the Bloods, a vicious Los Angeles gang that cops say has made inroads in New York. He showed me 3 cigarette burns, one of the Bloods' initiation rites. He spoke with me along with a 17-year-old who also claims to be a member.
This ain't nothing but a family. You know what I'm saying? He watching my back, I watch his back.
So what are you guys into?
It's just we watching each other back out here, you know what I'm saying?
Do you bother innocent people that aren't in any gangs?
Nah. If they don't bring it to us, we don't bring it to them.
What do you want to be doing 10 years from now? What are your goals, your dreams?
Saying,
huh?
Whatever I could.
What do you mean, whatever you could?
I'm saying I'm going to school, you know what I mean? I ain't out here killing people, but I'm saying if somebody, you know what I'm saying, disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect them.
I don't think it's as organized as some might believe. I think it might be organized more in the prison population because that's where they exist.
Captain James McCool of the NYPD says there might be only 100 Bloods on the streets, but a corrections department spokesman told us 400 inmates at city jails have been identified as Bloods.
These are some of the weapons of choice in the city's jail system where these inmates fight against each other and slash each other.
Norman Seabrook of the New York City Corrections Officers Association says the Bloods' violence will move out from behind bars.
New Yorkers should be concerned because it's just a matter of time before they begin to react like on the West Coast where we have drive-by shootings and innocent people are gunned down on the streets of the city of New York.
Here in Crown Heights, most residents told me that they haven't seen any evidence of the Bloods and that they're not overly concerned about the gang allegedly being here.
No, I'm not worried about the Bloods.
Why not?
because I'm neutral. That's why. And they don't mess with neutral people.
I don't want it coming around here on this block.
Matthew Schwartz, UPN 9i team.
This is really, really close to home. There's a lot of people shaking in their boots around here, I can tell you that much right now.
Fear has been caused by Newz Williams, who supposedly infected dozens of Brooklyn residents with the AIDS virus through unprotected sex. He is being held in isolation at Rikers Island, but that's no consolation to those who live in the Albany houses. They worry their one-time neighbor may have spread the deadly disease knowingly to many girls in the Crown Heights neighborhood.
A lot of people shocked, you know what I'm saying? You know, for somebody to have AIDS to be doing something dirty like that, that's foul.
It worries me a lot, for real. But I don't know, it's deep now. They don't came to the projects. A lot of stuff gonna be revealed.
Williams lived in the 9-building housing project for several weeks in January. He stayed at this apartment with a friend named Tamika Wittenberg. Tamika's mother told reporters she doesn't believe her daughter is one of the victims.
Do you know she was intimate with this man?
No, she was not. That was her boyfriend's friend.
Police say the Albany houses here in Crown Heights is a base for the Bloods gang, and Williams was a Bloods gang member. Neighbors pointed to this apartment as the gang hangout, but even though Williams ran with a gang, many residents described the 20-year-old as a man who kept to himself.
He was a quiet cat. He was quiet. He was always quiet. I was surprised to hear the news that he would go out like that. I ain't never known him to be like that.
Williams was raised by his grandmother at this apartment complex on Eastern Parkway. He moved upstate to Chautauqua County after he was acquitted of murder charges in 1995. Officials believe it was Williams who started an HIV outbreak in the upstate community. He could face charges of reckless endangerment and sexual misconduct, among others. Brooklyn residents have their own ideas for a just punishment.
I think he should be castrated because I think it's highly inappropriate and destructive for a man to know that he's affected with the HIV virus and affecting these sisters out in society when everybody's trying to survive.
I feel that he should get the chair because, you know, that's wrong what he did. You know, he ended a lot of young girls' lives before they even started.
Officials say so far Williams has identified 17 sexual partners, even though he has boasted of as many as 75. The city's HIV hotline has received more than a dozen calls since the word got out about...
UPN 9 News was there exclusively tonight as 72nd Precinct detectives took 7-year-old Milagros Perez and her mother to sit with a police sketch artist. Cops are trying to get an image of the girl's attacker in front of the public.
We've done a substantial canvass and recanvass of the location where the incident did occur, and people saw what happened afterwards with the mother chasing after the individual, but didn't actually see the victim being hit from behind at first. So we saw what the aftermath, and they chased with them, but we actually didn't see it occur or the person.
Milagros, who's called Millie, was stabbed in the left shoulder yesterday with a hypodermic needle by a man who came up from behind as she, her mother, and older sister crossed 5th Avenue near 38th Street in Sunset Park. It happened about 8:15 in the morning as the mother was walking her daughters to school. Police say they need the public's help to find the suspect, and they've been getting telephone leads. One tip led to a man with a known history of intravenous drug use, but he turned out to have a solid alibi. He was with a delivery man at the time of the attack.
What we have is people calling us, telling us they match the description, possibly where they may be located, and detectives are going to be going out later on to see if they can find out who these people are, where they might be.
Use it too often, but a lot of these kids are wannabe gang members, and that's the majority of the problems. Kids that walk around with certain colored beads, which would reflect the Latin Kings, but actually they have no knowledge of the actual gang. There's bigger fines, jail time for some individuals. It becomes effective after a while. They get the message that we're not kidding around, and they see the light, some of these kids.
Good morning. My name is Alicia Brown. I am 14 years old.
I'm a junior at Elliott Junior High School here in the district. Guns have been a part of my life since the age of 12. Already 6 of my friends have been killed by gunshots. I know how important it is for me to be here because last week my classmate was shot down. Later this afternoon, my family and friends will attend her funeral. That's why I was glad when I was asked to appear in a PSA with President Clinton to address this problem of violence. Something has to be done. We need to stop seeing our friends killed. This isn't make-believe, this is real. I hope a lot of you will call the 800 number to learn what we can do to protect yourselves and to prevent crime. That's why I hope a lot of the media will broadcast the messages. I hope a lot of you I hope a lot of you will not have to lose somebody close as I did. I hope a lot of you give me and friends back our childhood. Thank you. Now he is the President of the United States of America.
I want to thank Alicia for that remarkable performance. You know what I said to her when I saw the PSAs? Same thing all of you were thinking. I said, the one with you in it was a whole lot better. This is the culmination of a long effort by good people who want to do something about this terrible problem. I thank Phil Geyer, the chairman of the Ad Council, and all those who comprise that council and who support this work. I want to thank Jack Calhoun for the work he's done and the 123 organizations that make up his Crime Prevention Coalition, and for his remarkable...
What did you think about the mayor's coming here and Sharpton's coming here?
I think it's getting to be old hat, and enough is enough.
It just seems that the media also just makes a circus out of things. You know, no offense to you or disrespect, but people all really want harmony. A neighborhood is not responsible for the bad things that happen, you know, and that's what it's become. And I'm a school teacher, and I teach in a black school, and my students agree with what we talk about all the time. And you cannot blame all blacks or all white for the few bad.
Do you think that the mayor's coming here made a difference?
I think it's nice that everybody always talks. Why does it only have to be when something horrible happens, okay? It should always be talked about, and the positive should always be brought out. The positive. You know, the media should bring out more of the positive also, not just sensationalize everything. Don't you agree with that?
Okay. All right.
But I'm very pleased that I was able to get here, that I was able to see Al Sharpton before I left, so that he and I could exchange words, very pleasant words.
Could you share that with us? Did he say anything about
I did. I just did. No, we didn't talk. We didn't.
Mr. Mayor, about what it is.
No, what I can tell you is what I just told you. And so I don't have the time to respond to questions because there are too many of you. So therefore I'm making a statement. I have made it. I'm trying as best I can to be useful and helpful so that our population will know at least what my attitude is. I am very pleased with the fact that Al Sharpton and others have come out here. The parents of Yusef Hawkins are here to sit down with the folks here in Bensonhurst. I'm pleased that we've made this progress. There is an attempt at reconciliation. It's very, very important. We need to join together and fight the common enemy, which is poverty and drugs and crime and homelessness and absence of adequate health care and educational opportunity. Those are the things that we must attack. And so I think that they understand that's my posture. I don't suggest that anyone else has a different ordering of priorities. And therefore this meeting, this gathering today is very, very important, as was the visit to the church that Al Sharpton made here. I thought that was very useful. And the people from Bensonhurst who went to visit at the home was the home of Yusef Hawkins' parents was very.
Just to tell them you want to change your statement, that's wrong? Oh, no, I did that already. You did that already? Yeah.
You seem clearly to be putting Gina's credibility on trial.
It's not only Gina's credibility, it's her mother's credibility. Gina calls her mother a liar. There are other people there who say that none of these things ever happened.
Mandela got the crowd together. He's the ringleader. She be convicted of murder. Right, all of them are murderers. Nothing but murderers. So I know what you talk about. Gina Feliciano is not on trial. Mandela is. Mandela's the ringleader.
Things we can do, and as we mourn and sympathize and feel the anguish of the people in Littleton, let's not let those children die in vain. Let's get ourselves organized and unified in a positive way to address these complex issues. I know that one of the things you've probably been thinking about, and I hope you've been talking to each other about, and I hope you've been talking to your teachers and your parents and other adults about, is what happened in Littleton, Colorado.
But I think one way that they could, like, stop, that they don't commit those crimes, like, to put them in after-school activities, to get them actually involved in something, because that gets their mind off a lot of things. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. Yeah.
We're friendly.
Yeah.
So they should do that in high school.
It was the time you didn't have to worry about being shot and killed by cops.
Fed up with alleged police brutality in New York, African Americans from New York and New Jersey asked the Justice Department to investigate several cases where they say police went too far. Reverend Al Sharpton wants the 4 officers acquitted in the Amadou Diallo trial to face federal charges.
That we cannot accept living under a verdict that says that any police under any imagined fear has the right to shoot at us.
In Los Angeles, the police department is reeling from brutality charges and allegedly thuggish police behavior. These are just 2 examples of what some believe is a sinister trend of police brutality aimed mostly at African Americans.
I have witnessed police abuse on poor people, primarily African Americans or people of African descent.
But one criminologist says while police brutality complaints are rising nationwide, it might be because complaining to officials works better than it used to.
Are there more acts of police success, or are people feeling more comfortable about reporting them?
Bennett studies police departments across the country. He says some police departments are more prone to complaints because they make an active search for criminals.
These are people going out looking for bad guys, not waiting for the citizen to call, but going looking for them. Well, this is going to increase the probability that you're going to have confrontations.
And while getting tough on crime is popular in every neighborhood, it's those deadly confrontations that have some asking the federal government to step in from New York to Los Angeles. In Washington, Pat Rogers reporting. In Washington, Pat Rogers, KCAL 9 News.